I'm Ryan Stevens.
Dr. Taylor Waters.
I'm Ben Oliver.
Welcome to the Supra Human show, yeah?
Welcome to the Superhuman show. Here we are in Scottsdale, in
Sunny
the
Scottsdale,
in the
yeah.
Superhuman office with the man, the myth, the legend, John Madsen, and we've just wrapped up our photo shoot. I was going to say annual photo shoot because we're going to do another one.
I think it should be annual, don't you guys?
Yeah.
I mean,
I loved
I'll
it.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
But so we had, I think 15 of our coaches come in and 2 days of videos and shoots, which was a blast. And I know we spoke on previous episodes. We did an update on our kind of
prep.
preps. So yeah, John, how was your prep for the photo shoot? What was different with this whole year? Because I know we've worked together in the past where we've kind of tried to pack on some size. Whereas I've said to you, this is the best I've seen you look by a long shot. So kind of what was different this year, and then also the prep going into the shoot.
Yeah, man. It was Dr. Taylor. He was the coach this time around, right?
I was about to say, tell him it went well then.
I had to break up with Ben. I sent him a message. I was like, I think I'm gonna ask Taylor to prep me this time, and he's like, I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but I was like, bro, you know me too well. Now, if Ben programs my shit, it's almost like I program my shit, which is something would be in there, and I'd be like, yeah, fuck off. I don't really need to do that. My exact words was like, Taylor doesn't know I'm a bitch yet. So, so Ben knows, So I'm gonna try to see if I can trick Taylor for a little bit. But prep was
I found out pretty quick.
yeah.
Bulgarian split squats. I was like, mate, just do them.
It doesn't take long, but I mean, more so in the diet, just like everybody else, right? It's I like to eat, I like food, and so I live in a place that has a vibrant restaurant, nightlife, good food. I have a robust network out here where every Friday and Saturday there's something to do. I'm a member of a country club right up the street that has Taco Tuesday and Italian Friday, and just, you're at the pool Sunday brunch and there's cocktails flowing. It's like I have a life and I do fitness in a very lifestyle friendly way. And I stay in really, really decent shape year round. But when it comes to a photo shoot and having something on the calendar for a day, I'm the CEO of this company. I can't come in looking like dog shit. So I took it very serious. And at the same time, there was still weekends where I'd go to Dominic's and text a picture of, I think I told Taylor one time that I eat 7,000 calories, probably an estimate of dessert. And so I'm human just like everybody else. But, I would encourage people to have a day where you want to look your best. It's a great experience. So prep went well.
The thing is, I think although you had those moments where you did, bash some cheesecakes in, you knew you can crank it when you have to as well. Like during the weeks, you were able to pull it in really tight. And again, we only worked 8 weeks hard?
So it was, I think April 4th was like the very first photo of okay, I'm really
This
starting.
is it now,
right?
yeah.
So April 4th, it was 8 to 10 weeks.
It wasn't that long, but then we looked at the before and afters, wasn't it? And you
Completely
tightened
different.
right up. So it's like, at the end of the day, the outcome speaks volumes, isn't it? You can say, my execution dropped here and there, but it's like, well, what do you look like on the day, which was pretty sharp.
I think also as well, like you said, you maintain good shape year
about to
round.
say that.
So
Yeah.
you're always
You
within
had a really
striking
good start
distance.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you can sort of get away with those days where you eat dessert at on the weekend and stuff.
We actually had that conversation as well. Then we went. It was like the fact that you're one of those guys where if you were out of shape, you wouldn't have had that dessert. But the fact that there was part of you that was like, I know I look pretty good right now, and I know that I'm close. So you would allow yourself to then have that. And sometimes you have more than you think. But if you were soft coming in, I don't think you would have done that because you would have been under the pressure to actually pull it in tighter. So it's like
I always tell I'm insecure when it comes to looking a certain way. And that has I don't like being scrawny. I don't like being weak. Fitness has been in my life since I was 15 years old because of that. And so for me, even at my worst now, I'll look into the mirror and I can see the shape of abs. I can't from a fundamental standpoint let that not be the case. And so like some people will be like, oh, that's insecure, that's vain. I'm like, bro, like that helps me because I can't allow myself to be a fat ass. I'll get to the edge where I'm like, you know, maybe it's November, December, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and it's like middle of January. I'm like, because at the heaviest I was 247 this year because we were trying to push my weight up. And at the time of the photo shoot, I was 232. So there's a 15-pound difference. And if I look at those photos, like, you know, before and after, it's like, whoa, like that's a significant difference. But even in the 247, it's like I get to the very edge of, you know, not being able to see defined abs. And I'm like, I don't feel good about that.
I remember reading that chapter in Chad's book that you wrote, and you said like insecurity is my superpower, and it like literally spoke to me. I was like, oh my God, because you'll get to a certain point, insecurity kicks in, you're straight back on it.
Yeah, I can't think of anything worse than rocking up to that photo shoot. Like, I know my standards are quite high, like all of us, because we've all like competed as well in shows and stuff. Like the standard you hold yourself to is high. I can't think of anything worse than rocking up to a photo shoot and going like, oh my God, I look soft.
Well, that's a bit of insecurity, isn't it? Like you said, Ben, like the turning up to the photo shoot, you're scared of being fat. And that drives you to be in shape.
Yeah, well, it's the pain pleasure kind of thing. It's like photo shoot's cool, but I'm far more motivated to not look like shit than to look great. That can be the main driver. But, so how, just as a bit of a side note, like how does it feel now? Like you just did a photo shoot with 15 guys that now work for Supra Human. When I came on in January 2021 and we had 4 part-time coaches, and now you've got guys flying in from all over the world that are, working their asses off to get in shape, for this photo shoot. What does it feel like when you see the team come in and they're all excited and amped, and like that must
it feels like a proud parent when you see your child go from your child goes from crawling and starts walking on their own. That's what it feels like in this moment in time of Supra Human in this company. It's like it existed in my mind before this reality happened, just like all things are created. And we've created this culture with epic human beings and top experts in the industry. And not only top experts from an knowledge and understanding standpoint, but we fucking look the part too. And so when I thought of, this company and these moments, it's like, I want to create something where it's so out of the ordinary to have a bunch of superhumans work for the company. And that's exactly what we created. And so the photo shoot was like a little pre-celebration of like, I want the world to see that we don't just talk about it, we are about it. And so that's why the photo shoot was created. Yeah. And then, to your point, I think we should do it every year because we're adding multiple coaches every single month. And part of the criteria is like, you could have 10 PhDs. I don't really give a fuck. But if you look like you don't know what you're talking about, even if you do know what you're talking about, there's not a place for you on this staff because you have to know what you're talking about and you have to actually apply that knowledge to yourself first, and then you can teach it to other people.
Yeah. Even now we talk about all the time, like just the being sat in Scottsdale in the office, is fucking insane. Yeah. We could every now and then we kind of just start laughing. So this is ridiculous. It's just, I can't believe this is our life now. Yeah. And it's just, it's crazy, but just meeting, because there's a lot of the coaches, probably 10, 12 coaches that we've never met in person before. It's all remote, and not that it's a downside, but obviously that's just part of having an online business. Is we've got coaches all over the world. Some in Dubai, some in Dominican Republic, some in Canada. So to get everyone together under the same roof, for a week or so for the SH event that we've got at the end of the week, it's just I think for a lot of these guys, it's the highlight of their year. Just getting to meet the guys because we spend a ton of time every day together, talking with each other. But to actually go to the gym with each other, Zach cooked chicken Alfredo for everyone last night, and it was we had the whole team sat around the table just eating food. And it's just those kind of experiences we will never get again. In this era of our lifetime, it's like we were saying, it's this is the glory days. Right now, it's when we're in our 70s and be like, remember when we fucking flew to Arizona, and you know, we were just
We were sat in
hanging
the
out,
pool, weren't
lifting
we,
weights,
looking
and like
around,
stuff.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know when we all met each other for the first time, even in the gym and in the house that we're in now, it felt like we all knew each other for years because we all just got on, and that's a good sign of a good culture.
What's your so I know that you religious?
Not religious. I believe in a creator. Go ahead, ask your question.
So
We'll see where it's going.
Because really just the way that everything kind of shook out, where you know, because I've spoke about on a previous podcast where like I ended up working with Trevor and TKN, and then you know you ended up being my client, Nineveh ended up being Ryan's client, but just how it all kind of just fell in place to be where we are now. I'm kind of, part of me is like, that can't just be luck, kind of thing. So like, I just wanted to know what your view on that is, because I know that you've, like you said, you've seen this company of what it is now in your head for years. Yeah. Like what's your kind of, how do you look at that whole kind of thing?
That's actually a great question, because pure coincidence I don't believe in at all. It's like, you know, I got this watch. It's, you know, 40 grand on my wrist. And it's like, if you took this watch off and you undid all the parts and you shook it up in a box, what are the chances it comes out and looks like this with immaculate time? Like, there is a creation that exists that we can't explain, right? So all these parts that are moving in, you know, all of our lives to connect us in a way that's now, like, I don't believe in complete coincidence, like, oh, that was just chance. So, you know, from a creation standpoint, there's some of that. And then there's also, in my mind, more of like a quantum mechanic type of way, where it's like, if everything's waves and particles, and I'm not going to be like super quantum physics-y here, but if everything's waves and particles, and when you observe something, waves turn into particles, what that tells me is that if I have a creation, I'm thinking about it in my mind, and I'm taking the actual steps along the way, it's like I'm focused on a vision that exists first in my mind and can be expressed in reality, but it's through that certainty or that clarity of what I want to build that all those pieces start to appear. So I do think that there's creation, and I also think that if you really study quantum physics, it's like, you know, what you focus on. Why is it when you focus on something, like you tend to have that thing expressed, right? It's because if you look at it from like that observational quantum physics theory, it's like, well, your focus is gonna shift and find all those pieces. So
it's like a because we've said it as well, that it's like there's like a, like specifically for you, there's like a magnetism where it's like, I think you can feel like someone's like energy when they walk into a room.
But you know, if someone truly believes something, like a lot of people talk, and it's like, you could say like, oh yeah, I want to build some certain business, and they don't take any action because they don't truly believe it. They think it sounds cool and they think it's a good idea. But if you truly believe something, you will naturally just take action. Like when you signed up to TKN, it's like, I'm sure that was part of, oh, they sound like a good company who have good coaches, and I feel like I can learn something from them. So you'll naturally gravitate because you actually believe that you've got this potential. And then it's like, just like you as a coach, is you genuinely think you're a good coach and you truly believe that you can be one of the best coaches out there. So you were pursuing that with sort of good intent. So then when the opportunity did arise, you were ready to strike. It wasn't as if like, oh, I wouldn't mind being a good coach, but then you work in like a bank, just like sitting behind a desk, because then that opportunity is never going to arise. So it's like you're constantly preparing yourself, and then as soon as that opportunity does pop up, you're ready to strike. And it's like, so it's like all these people have similar, like, you know, although our goals and stuff are very different and the way we approach, we all have these common themes, these common interests that we have, and then you're pursuing them more and more and more, and then eventually they almost just like they all meet. And then it's like, you know, we're all in the same context. So then when you got the opportunity with John, you were then ready to build a good squad of guys then who, so it's strange how it all sort of maps out, isn't it? But you got to truly believe that you're going to do something, or that you've got the ability to do it. Otherwise it never really happens, is it?
Yeah. I think even when I first made the switch to Supra Human, it was even just because we really didn't even talk that much, you know, with TKN. You know, it was kind of like we had a couple calls Your check-in would be a quick text, and a selfie.
Send me a Loom. Yeah. Send me a Loom. Tell me what to do. I don't have time for half an hour. Yeah.
But
easy going client.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I remember actually asking you. I'm like, if you had to build, I can't remember why I was doing this. I think the business model for me, I was trying to figure like how I was going to go to the marketplace, and I was like, if you were to build a 12-week program that was kind of automated. Remember?
Yeah.
And because that was where my mind was, which is not our business model at all. But back then, that you started to help me create that, and I think that was a moment for me. I was like, oh shit, dude! Like I need I can't build this. I need this guy to be on the team.
Yeah, but I think the other part of this whole thing as well is you've always spoken about authenticity, and if we look at the team members that we have, like the coaches. We're all, we have a lot of similarities, but we're all very different as well. But everyone is just solely themselves, and so I think by you building a brand that is, you do everything exactly how you want to do it because that's how you want to do it.
Yeah,
it's given all of the coaches and all of the staff like that kind of unconditional permission to just be themselves, versus like, oh well, I want to act this way or be this way because John likes these things, and then I should like these things, or I should try and do this because Grant does these things, when it's like, we've all just been ourselves this whole time. And I think you'd sniff that out really fast with guys that would join the team where they're just not being themselves. But like the coaching team that we have, just spending like the last few days with them. I mean, one, it's been hilarious. Like, I don't think I've laughed so much like in the last few days of just ridiculous conversations, but everyone is kind of just got their own quirks and things, and it's almost like all the oddballs kind of together, but it's like
a bag of revels.
But then you put them together, and it's just like the magic that we have in this coaching department is insane.
Speaking of authenticity, though, like for me, I think that's the start of a great culture, right? It's like you have companies that have these mission statements, and it's like the CEO gets up there and they read the mission statement. It's like he doesn't believe that, right? And so like for me, like whether you like it or hate it, and you guys, can't hate it because you're here, it's like, that I'm not lying. I'm not up there saying like our mission is to end obesity in America or the world, and I'm driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis and talking about a $40,000 watch, right? It's like I talk about that stuff freely, and I want to be the best. Like I want to fucking dominate this industry. I want to create the baddest ass team. I want to have the fucking most epic transformations, and I want to create what we're creating. And at the end of the day, I want everybody in the company to make incredible money, have a lot of fun, and that means that I'm going to make a shit ton of fucking money for creating it. And that's the mission, right? And so I just don't like when there's these PR type missions and you can tell that there's a breach in that authenticity. It's like you sit back there, people talk, you're like, that's bullshit, right? Yeah. And so I want that to trickle down into everybody that we have on staff. It's like, whatever you guys are into or whatever, it's like, just be and bring that authenticity to the table, because our end customer can feel that.
Yeah.
If and we're all going to be about different things. Not everybody's going to like Ferraris. There's a lot of people that don't give a fuck, right? Mm-hmm. Other people are going to have their own goals and missions within this big mission, and we're all serving that. So I just believe in that from a fundamental level. I don't like bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can all be into different things, but we all share the biggest mission, which is we just all want to win.
Yeah.
It's
about winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's shit.
Yeah, it's like I've always thought of myself as like, I would love to be one of the go-to guys in the industry. It's like, I want to be the very best I can be at my field. And it's like the same as you. You want to build the best company, same as you. Like, you want to be the best coach. And it's like, everyone wants to be the best. And when you put that in a melting pot, it's just again, that culture that we've got. Everyone's trying to be the best. And like, I was my dad was asking me about the company, and he was like, oh well, like, could you replicate that type of thing? And it's like, what I was trying to explain to him, I was like, the machine that we've got at the minute, everyone is the best in their field. Like, you look at like Josh on the marketing stuff, everyone is so good. Then that team together is just well, you can see how fast it's growing. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, and the cool thing is, like, it's the beginning, really. Like, going from the analogy of toddler crawling to walking. It's like, we will be $100 million company. This is like, as big as we are compared to last year, it's like, I was telling you, this is nothing, and we're all going to eat because we're creating this from the beginning, and we need everybody. Right? I cannot build this shit alone. I mean, even, a little side note, I was selling someone on Instagram, not even trying, because they saw an ad. They're like, hey, blah blah blah, and I'm like, message them back and forth, and like, oh damn, like I thought I was gonna, you were gonna coach me. I'm like, you don't fucking want me to coach you. I'm trying to get this company to $1 million. I mean, 100 million. My mind is not on, taking care of you specifically. I'm like, you want my coaches. That's what makes us different.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, cool. Like, send him an invoice, paid it. He's on Taylor's deal.
It's great how it's changed as well. Like, because I think when I initially came on board, I was heavily coaching, like one-on-one. Yeah. And I think I had like 90 or something clients, and it was, I think like when I came on, I 1000% believe it's like, well, I'm the best coach on the team, like by a mile.
Mm-hmm. You were.
Yeah. And then now I'm like I messaged you. I was like, I ain't the best coach on this team. But it was like, you said the analogy. It's like, you're not Michael Jordan anymore. It's like you're Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
And so it's like, now you can grab the best players and put them in the right positions and kind of just like guide them to where they need to be. And that's been great for me as like a new experience of like managing, like managing the team. And I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. Like, and I love coaching, but managing this team, I love even more. Like, it's been so cool to like find the right people that fit into the team, and then, have you guys, mentor them as well. And then see you guys like take those roles as well. It's like, we look back at like working in the gym, wiping, ball sack sweat off, leg curl machines. And it's like, now, days. Yeah. And, and now it's like, you got a roster of, you've had a roster of like 100 people, and you're two of the best coaches, in the game, and now kind of transitioning to having your own kind of coaches and overseeing them. Like, it's really, really cool to see, and see you guys grow as well, and like bringing you on board. And initially when I asked you, you were like, no, I'm going to keep doing my own thing, and then we revisited like a year later, and you're like,
yeah. It's even when you phoned me and I did sign up, I was a bit like, I didn't know really what to do. And then I had a chat with like my missus, and I was like, the thing is, I knew you two, and that was it. And like, you two are some of the best coaches that I know. And I was like, well, surely if you put us in the same team, how wrong can it go? Like, how? And then as soon, like literally within a week or two of coming over, I was like, okay, this is definitely the right move. But even me, like, if you had asked me a year ago, like, what's my standard of coaching, like, I would have been like, oh yeah, it's super high. Like, I definitely value myself as a very, very high-end coach. But then since being in this squad and engaging with like you guys and then the other coaches, like on the coach's office hours and then on the team calls, it's like even my standard has like skyrocketed over the past 12 months. So it's like you put all those coaches in one melting pot and everyone's standard just shoots up. And it's like, again, you find a better coaching squad than we've got here. Like, I can't foresee it.
Doesn't exist. What do you guys think about the clients that we attract in here comparative to clients in the past? Like, what I know Superhuman clients are different. Like, tell me your guys' thoughts.
I mean, there's still like, we were talking about this the other day, there's still a variance because we kind of have quite a specific niche. And even in that niche, there's a huge variety of kind of personalities and things, which I think is good, because as a coach, if you don't experience those, you don't develop your skill set as a coach. Like, it's great working with guys that just do as they're told and follow the plan. Like, it makes your job very easy. It doesn't make you better. And so it's like, it's when you deal with the clients that they travel every week, they say, fuck you, I'm not going to track my food. Like, I don't have time for that. And it's like, when you can work around all of those things, you develop that skill set. So when another person comes in that's in that same situation, you're like, well, I know how to do this. And so it's like the perspective that we try to like preach to the other coaches is, when you have those frustrating clients, it's like, this is where you get better. Like, this is like, you suck at free throws, so now you're going to practice free throws too. You're really good at them, doing with your eyes closed. And so it's like, the clients that we have, like, I've never seen clients so excited to attend an event. like, and meet the team, and, you know, and just be around other people in the program. Like, it's turned into like I don't like the word cult, but like, because it's normally got like a negative connotation to it, but like
a good cult.
It is like, you know, people are proud to be like part of the.
Well, it's a team,
brand.
isn't it? You build such good relationships with the clients. It's like, you know, when I was coaching before, like, you know, you sometimes like it's just that coach-client relationship. Although you need to still establish the coach-client relationship. Like, my relationship with a lot of my guys now, like it's they're almost like a friend as well. Like, you build such a strong relationship with them, and that it just sort of it strengthens it somewhat. Like, I can't wait to meet these guys who I've been working with for the past 12 months and like celebrating all the results that they get. And some of these guys, like, they're going from complete novice. It's like their understanding of training, diet. I was speaking about one of my guys earlier, wasn't it? And when he first signed up, like, barely had ever trained, didn't know what a calorie was, a macro was, like, just literally had lived a normal, non-fitness related life. And within 12 months, like, he is like loving the program. Like, he's completely changed his physique, his knowledge, understanding. And to fast track that in 12 months, like, think of how much time people waste just spinning the wheels, go into a gym, thinking they're doing a good job, but they've been doing it for 10 years and got nowhere. This guy's come in as a complete novice, and within 12 months, he's like surpassed so many people. It's almost like fast track, isn't it? You just skyrocket yourself to the end, and it's like, and that's what you pay for. It's like, if you actually want to do something properly, again, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, isn't it? And it's, you know, if
Perfect.
I mean, you get jack monkeys.
yeah.
I was saying to my wife yesterday that I've never seen a community like Supra Human. Like, you've seen our forums in the app. These clients have never met each other. For this event this week, they're already organizing to meet up privately, like go golfing and things. Like, what other community have we ever seen that in?
Dude, and not only that, they're like, guys are getting tattoos. Like, this is how I know the brand is going somewhere. They're making their own hats. It's like, we haven't even had time to go down this apparel, which we are going to go deep into some fashion stuff, which is awesome. But people are making like golf ball markers. It's like the Supra logo is like from our own clients. They're going creation mode because we can't do this stuff fast enough. Because the brand has a meaning, and it's outside the normal of their everyday lives, right? These guys, for the most part, are winners in business, pretty successful men and women in the program. And when it comes to their fitness, they have never really gotten to that elite level. And so now when they're doing it to their normal friends, they're like, why are you doing that? Like, you don't need to do that. But then inside the group, there's 1,000+ other people just like them that are now very successful in business and also very fit, and they're like, I want that. And then that common thread is just dynamic.
How do you deal with the, you know, because we all joke about, you know, the amount of hate that you get on the ads, you know, in the comments, and we get it on the YouTube from our podcast.
Oh, good.
Like, Josh has deleted them, but there's
good. Good. You guys got some hate now. Hell yeah.
You know, it's like, don't listen to these bros.
We're gonna spread my hate to everybody.
I had it on my Insta the other day. Some guy was obviously commenting on your page, and then he ended up on my page.
Oh yeah, they do. Imagine how much fucking time these guys are wasting. They go in my wife's page, they DM her. They're like, your husband's a blah blah blah. So yeah, go ahead.
So how? Because obviously there must have been like the first one, like that you experienced, and what were the emotions that you felt first, and then how do you look at it now? Because we're on the inside, and so I kind of like, I look at them, and I feel nothing because I know the truth. And it's like, and I also know that it doesn't matter how much of the truth I speak, they still won't believe it. And you know, it's like guys that have never failed a drug test, and like, it's like, I could test every day and you still wouldn't be happy.
Right.
But like, how, like, what's that process been, especially over the last, you know, year where we've really exploded? It's like hate's gone 10x as well.
As the more hate, the more money in my bank. So that, you know, so that's one thing. But I mean, it got to the point where we went through this 18-month phase where there was like a stagnancy, where we had to transform from the inside out, right? It's like we were doing the same revenue for essentially about 18 months when it came to this company. And it's like we were growing, but it was like at a snail's pace. And to get to that next level, I had to change the approach. I was like, we gotta do something different. And I came out with marketing really innocently, where it was like, you know what, the fitness industry is plagued with people that get broke leads, because you could go to YouTube, get fitness information for free. There's apps for $9 a month. There's, people think that fitness is going to Orange Theory for maybe $150 a month. And I'm like, what we do is premium. And so I realized that, if I want sharks, you got to fish in the right pond. And so I came out with marketing message that really eliminated all the people who were tire kickers and weren't serious about fitness. And we got into a niche of people that we just talked about. And what that did was, it was polarizing so polarizing that 98% of people didn't like the message. So the hate started rolling in. But every single day, we're in the Slack channels for sales, and we're just ringing the sales, the sales channel, and we're getting epic clients at the same time who loved the message. And so that counter, I'm like, well, what do I want? Do I want to have no hate and a business that's stagnant, or can I live with a lot of hate and a business that I love, and there's going to be a bunch of people that don't really get it, and I'll be misunderstood? And I'm like, I'll choose option number 2. It gets to me sometimes because it's a constant, right? Where it's like every day, if I go and log into Instagram, there's 100+ messages of just bullshit, right? And some days I'm like, doesn't bother me at all. Other days it's like the cumulative effect of like days and days and months and months. Mm-hmm. But what it feels like is every time I walk into these doors, it's like I put on that superhuman cape, and it's like Game 7 in an away state, like an away stadium, where it's like, I'm going to go win championships on somebody else's home turf, and, throw it in their face too. Mm-hmm. So I just lean into it.
Winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Yes. And it's like, when you're not going to get loads of hate if you're average. If you're just bone average, you're not going to get loads of hate to you. So you know that if you are getting a lot of hate, it's likely you're doing something that's also pretty special as well.
And it's also just the persistency of the message, where I think most other people would crumble under the hate and think, maybe I do need to change my message. Yeah. And so, I'll listen, I'll give all of this hate power to change my decision or my message or my branding. And you've just gone, fuck you.
I gas them. I gas them up, dude. Yeah. Like I that's why everything I wear is designer, and everything I drive is like kind of fuck you, like on purpose, because it's like, I'm going to get the hate anyways. Mm-hmm. I hate like if there's one thing I hate more than anything, it's cancel culture. Because you get these celebrities and these politicians, or, these people who say one thing and then they get attacked, and then they're like, I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done. I'm like, no, you're not sorry. You're sorry for, that the mainstream didn't like it. I'm like, I'm not going to backtrack, and like, you can't cancel me if I go right into it, double down, pour gasoline on it, and become even more polarizing. That's just my way of dealing with it. And I think it works because
it's authentic.
It's authentic. Yeah. It's like, okay.
It goes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm. I got far more respect for people that lean into it than
backpedal.
Yeah.
Backpedaling to me is like, it's weakness. And also what it does, the culture then is created by like, if it's polarizing from the front end marketing standpoint, you get people in the program 98% of the time who really vibe with that type of energy. So then there's this commonality of our clients, but then there's also in the recruitment, it's like, I'll recruit and I'm like, you got to have some villain energy in you, right? On purpose. And it's like, we attract these applications for coaching or sales that are like, I want some of that culture. And they already know what we're about. They're not surprised halfway in when they sign up, and 2 months later, they're like, oh, John's different, compared to what I thought he was. Like, no, you know.
Well, even with because we've been on a recruiting spree lately with coaches, going through the applications and the video submissions, like, I do think, like, well, what's John going to think when he sees this guy?
Yeah.
And because then I'll start thinking like that as well. And, I'll turn a video on, and then within 3 seconds, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, you could say all the right things right now, but it's like that first immediate impression that I've got of you, no.
Yeah.
And then, if you get past that, then it's like, then I'll listen. But like, it's that first impression. You could look at any one of our coaches, and the first impression is like, they live it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. If I don't see that on like the immediate, like the first 5 seconds of the video, I'm not going to spend 30 minutes of my time with that person trying to convince me that my first impression was wrong and they're actually in shape. It's like, dude, I count your chins on the video. Like, it's like, you can't like, you know, by all means go get into shape and come back. And it might sound shallow, but that's the culture that.
But it's the truth. Yeah, I was just thinking. It reminded me of when I was dating my wife. She always wanted me to watch The Bachelor, right? And so The Bachelor, like, was one guy, and he had to pick between all these girls, and you guys.
I know what it is. Yeah.
It was huge, and so, like at the very first episode, I'd be like, oh, the the final 4 will be like her, and her. She's like, how do you know? I'm like, how do you not know? You know what I mean? It's like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, I'm just telling you how it is. And you're more right than wrong, right? Unless it's, it's got a little scripting, but it's like, do you really got to waste all your time? Do you got to waste months to eliminate the ones that are just, you can eliminate just because people don't want to admit it? It's like, you don't look the part. Plain and simple. Yeah.
And it's, again, like we are, like we're just saying now, we are the best coaching staff. We are the best fitness company. It's very easy to spot the best. Like when you walk into a room, it's easy. Again, like you said, there's all those women, you can see who the best 4 are. And there's 20, there's 30, but it's like the best 4 stand out straight away.
If we walked into the pool party and people didn't know that we were a fitness company,
if they asked, like,
what do you guys? I mean, they always go like, "What do you guys do?" But they know it's something.
They're going to be like, "What the fuck do you guys do?"
Yeah.
This is like 25 people that are just fucking in elite shape, walking around.
Yeah. And if you blend it in, it's like there's no part of our company that wants to blend in.
No. The 9.99 app. You can blend in. There's a 9.99 app there. You can have that if you want.
This is the thing. Everyone is thinking it. We just got the balls to say it.
Right.
Like that thing, like, oh, these are the 4 fittest birds. Like, everyone's thinking it. They're just scared to say it. Whereas, like, John, you'll say it straight up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you get a lot of hate, is because, like, you'll tell the truth. And it offends a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think Drake said, what did he say? He said, jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. You know? Yeah.
So, last question. 10 years time in the future, where do you see the brand? And I say where do you see because everything that you have said that is going to happen has happened.
Yeah.
So
you guys think I'm crazy.
So
we sat down at this. We sat down at the first of this year. They're like, "What's the goal?" And it's like, again, "What's the mission?" I'm like, 25 million. It's like, that's it. Yeah. And like we just sat for Q3 planning. It's like, well, we're pacing 26. So. Well, you guys thought I was fucking crazy.
Everything comes true. Yeah. So rather than saying where do you want it to be, where is the company going to be in 10 years time?
Yeah, I think that I think of Supra Human as the Equinox of the online fitness space, right? And there's a trend to the online fitness space because people are virtual, right? It's like Equinox exists in the bigger cities, which is, I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Yeah,
you know what it is? Yeah. And so it's like New York and LA and, Wall Street bankers go there. And I realized that, all these people paying all that money go to this gym that's just pristine. And at the end of the day, they got to look into the mirror and they still look average as fuck. And so what we do is like, we solve that problem, but we're luxury in the online space in fitness, which is the trend of fitness anyways. And so like we're riding that trend. And then also things that I'm very interested in, like fashion, apparel, like the Supra Human brand, the logo, like there's going to be different verticals that we go into because our database of people, the way we advertise is enormous. So Supra Human is the Equinox of the online fitness space. And then much bigger than that because there's fashion, there's tech, there's supplements, there's online coaching is obviously going to be like the thing that we do best at the highest level. But then there's also going to be things downstream where, with all the stuff coming out in tech, it's like we're going to have the cash flow and the ability from a personal standpoint to just dominate. So I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars and we're going to be rich as fuck. We're going to make a shit ton of money and we're going to have clients that get epic results and we're going to have fun because I'm not building a company to not have fun. If it wasn't fun for me, I literally would just do something else.
Yeah. I guarantee there will be a day where we will be walking into like just the standard like clothes stores, and there will be Superhuman.
Yeah.
brand
Did you see those? Did you guys see those bags? Bring one of those bags over, Ian. It's like I saw these bags. It's like, dude, that's people make these fitness companies. People make these fitness companies, and it's like this is like a Dior bag. Right? Like this is a Dior bag. People make these fitness companies, and it's like transformation, blah blah blah, or like, you know, it's an all female brand. It's like males can't, you know, it's like, I'm not going to say names. You guys know names that I'm probably thinking about, right? Here you go, Ian. Camera saw it. Like we're a female and male brand. Like Superhuman is not super female. It's not supra male. It's like Superhuman having powers above and beyond those of a normal human. And the logo and the branding is luxury. It's like people on the street will wear this stuff because it's an aspirational brand. So, you know, it's something that is definitely, if you could buy stock, you should.
Yeah. And I can probably speak for everyone in the coaching department. We've never had so much fun. Like we've never like it's funny because it's like it's almost like the more fun you have, the harder you work.
Yeah.
And it's like I've never worked harder, you know, than in the last couple of years.
You've lost hair.
Yeah. It's gone. It's gone. The whole body. It's just shed off. But I've never had so much fun.
Yeah.
It's such a good group of people in my life.
Like this might not sound like much because I've made a lot of bad decisions in my life, but this has been one of the best decisions that I've ever made.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
If not the best.
Yeah, the best. Like, find me another company. We're going to work out for 2 days at an event, then we're going to celebrate at a pool party.
Yeah.
Find me another company that does that.
Yeah.
You have the cabana. It's 105 degrees. The pool party at the W in Scottsdale is, it's not Vegas. It's like as close to Vegas as you can get, not being Vegas. And I've already decided in my head next year's event is going to be Vegas. so you know, we'll see if that comes true. But this pool party, it's like on a Saturday, it's packed with people, and the mediocrity of America, to me, is fascinating. So you have all these people at this pool, and for the most part, the mediocrity's on full display. And then you have our staff walk in. That I think there's 30 people maybe here for the event. We have more, but some people couldn't make it. And it's like, we did the photo shoot on purpose first. We're in tip-top shape, and we'll walk into this thing, and it's like gonna be bananas to people to see that many people in incredible shape at one place at one time. And we're gonna be celebrating with, you know, with a bunch of our best customers and clients. It's gonna be epic.
We're going to turn heads.
Yeah.
And we're definitely going to stand out for all the right reasons.
Who do you think won the company? Like so we did the photo shoot.
Yeah.
16 people went through. Who was number one?
Oh, don't say. Get someone in your head, and then
I got
and then
mine.
we'll say.
So what? But what are we defining? Like physique or?
I'm just saying, like, if there was, just like The Bachelor, right? It's like if there was 1,000 people, and you're just like that, like the physique is like pretty mind-boggling.
Who are the most impressive?
Most impressive.
Who impressed you the most?
Not into consideration like where they came from.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Because then there's a backstory of like where they came from compared to where they were. But it's just like none of that it matters. It's like on the day, like what do you?
I've got my number one, but there's two close.
I've got mine.
All right, so I think Grant took it.
Same.
I think you were the best I've seen you look,
Runner-up,
and just
bridesmaid.
like the tan.
Surely that's a bonus.
The tan was on point. Like
Yeah.
it was just like it's the fullest I've seen
Yeah.
you. Like you've got to the point now where like your physique doesn't make you look tall. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're big,
Right.
Like versus like
Tall and
oh
skinny.
he's got to work to fill out that frame. It's like you've now got to the point that you filled it out.
Yeah.
And then Zach doing his fucking snatch and his
Yeah,
jaws.
yeah, yeah.
Like that was just badass.
Yeah.
Like and he looked awesome.
We actually said that, didn't we? We didn't want you coming in too drawn. It's like I would much rather you, like being 6'5", I'd much rather you sacrifice a little bit of fat loss, but be thick and be full, than be like super diced, but then be drawn.
Yeah.
and
Drawn in
just-
for my frame is not ideal.
Nah, you want to be, you want to fill out that frame. And next year we're coming in 240.
we're coming in hot. We're
240
coming in
next
hot,
year.
bro.
Grant for me. When I saw Grant, I was like, he's impressive.
Yeah, Grant. The density that he's got on his top half anyway he's definitely designed for jeans.
I love how we build him up.
We're being way too nice here.
Yeah, I gotta knock him down a bit.
Hey, when
But
you
yeah,
do
he
this
was-
little reel, like when you clip that, like zoom in on Grant's little bitch legs.
But that density that he's got up top, combined with the leanness that he had, the conditioning that he had, was impressive.
He had abs popping, and motherfucker had veins coming out of his chest,
Yeah.
bro. Like he brought it, dude. And you know that a testament to that, though, and this is where we can maybe end this show. Just Grant's journey to that point was I was the one who got him in the program. Today he just logged his 790th workout in the app.
Wow.
All right. And so that was essentially 5 years. I was doing marketing. I was still on the phone. So I closed Grant. I coached him through his first fat loss phase. He's just a guy that's like, just tell me what to do, I'll do it. And he was essentially about 205 pounds, 210 pounds when I got him. We had to take him all the way down to 159. Because there was still fat there. So we strip over a year. And then his photo shoot weight today or this past weekend was like 183, 185, right?
Yeah, he's like 185.
Yeah, so think about that. 210, 159, back up to 185. And people look at that and they're going to just, I mean, when these photos come out, like it's going to be crazy. And people are going to be like, how did you do that? Yeah. And the answer is he did it for 5 years. And so that's just a testament to what you could achieve in 5 years' time if you were just to dedicate yourself. And then over the past 2 years, me and Grant trained together every day.
Yep.
Like not we don't train 7 days a week, but it's 4 or 5 times a week, and it's at 5 a.m. He doesn't miss. Because I have a training partner that's going to be there at 5 a.m, I don't miss. Multiple times, my alarm clock goes off, and I'm like, fuck. Grant's going to be there. I can't not be there, right? And if you watch us train, we're not dripping sweat. We're not like there's plenty of people around us in the gym that are doing burpees and supersetting a bunch of different stuff, and like they look on the surface like they're working way harder than we are. We're taking sets close to failure. We're paying attention to the rest intervals for the most part. Our intensity in the set is good, and we compete with each other. We don't want to, be the weakest one. So it's like we're continuously pushing each other without being stupid. Mm-hmm. And that combination for a couple years of training like that and just, eating in a way where we never let ourselves get too far out of shape to the point where if we need to dial it in for 8 to 10 weeks for something like that, that's a result. Yeah. So, like what's your thoughts on like timeline for people to go from like, I mean, even Coach Shane, yeah.
I mean, I've been training since I was 14, and this year was the best I've ever looked. Mm-hmm. And so what's that? I'm 33 on Friday, so it's just under 20 years.
Yeah. You're always pursuing progress, isn't it? Yeah. But I think that, again, that's just a practical example of what can be done in 5 years. Like I've seen the photos of Grant, and he looked, he was meat. He wasn't superhuman, put it that way. Yeah. He was super soft.
He was soft.
Super soft.
His kids literally said, "Why is your tummy so jiggly?" It's like,
And within 5 years, then he's the most jacked within a fitness company. Mm-hmm. So you've gone from soft, where your son's saying your stomach jiggles, to the most jacked in an elite fitness company in 5 years.
And like you say, John, the pursuit never ends. This is the worst Grant is ever going to look. He's always going to get better.
Yeah. Next year, you come in and be like, we'll just paint him fucking green. He'll be like, incredible. It's like, yeah.
But it is that you can do it a lot faster than you think, but it also, at the same time, it can take longer than you think, especially from the mindset standpoint. Like we talk about all the time where guys may drop that initial 20, 30 pounds in, the first 6 to 8 months. Doesn't mean they got it fixed. It's like, you know how many times I've lost that 30 pounds? Like 6, 7 years, Yeah. And then it's like, oh, now I've realized how to kind of sustain it and stuff. And so you've got guys that have been training for over 20 years doing the wrong shit, having messed it up and done those cycles of lose the weight, gain the weight. Now we've figured it out. We can condense it into 5 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's like, you're still getting it, 4 times faster than it took us to get there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because we've got I don't want to say the cheat code because it takes what it takes, but we can get you there the fastest way possible with all the information technology and everything that we have. And, you know, you can go from, you know, mashed potato to Hercules in 5 years. You don't need to be the most genetically gifted person to look like that.
That's a great point too, because I was thinking about how much stock I used to put in like training programs. Not that they're not important, but it was like I would buy Meadows, you know, this program, Hercules, whatever, and then like thinking that training, like, dude, I'm going to do this program for 12 weeks and I'm going to be fucking jacked. And it's like I was in the fitness industry since 2010, and this is like 2013, 14. I'm still thinking that the training program is going to be the thing that like gets me jacked out of my mind. And it's like not considering that food is a huge component, especially natural, right? Yep. It's like that like the food, if you're not paying attention to that, you're never gonna look the way that you want to look. And so Grant, for example, or like Shane Till, who came in 5 same year plan and looked incredible on photo shoot day, it's like they didn't need to go experiment like we did with the hundreds of fitness programs and the different diets we tried to do. It's like they came in and they're like, just do this. And in that 5 year time, it's like they look better than 99% of people in the world.
Yeah. If I did what I've done the last 3 years over the last 20, I wouldn't look like how I look now.
Exactly.
So it again, it's like we're giving you the 5 years of progress that it took us 20 years to get.
Yeah.
Of making 15 years of experimentation and trial and error and finding the best way.
Yeah.
A lot of clients as well, they've been trying all their life to get results. We're saying we're going to get you results in 5 years, the best shape you've ever been in.
Yeah.
It's a great return on your investment.
They've been trying for 20 years, and it's going to take you another 20 years to figure it out.
Right.
Or you can come and do 5 years, and you would have solved the problem for the rest of your life.
And that's the coolest part is like we haven't even really laid this out. We were talking about it in our quarterly the other day. It's like there's really not that someone has to work with us for 5 years, but let's just say that, you know, you dedicated 5 years of your life to this fitness game, right? You come in to our program in year 1, it's like you're a rookie. Like you're a rookie, it is year 1, right? Year 2, you go from rookie to, you know, pro as far as knowledge, understanding. It's like you put 24 months in, it's like progress is going to be pretty good. From there, from pro, you go, like we laid this out, and it's like, then you become a champion in year 3. Like all those workouts, all those days of hitting your nutrition plan, it's like, there's champion. You go to year 4, we decided on greatness, right? It's like year 4 is greatness. It's like you put 4 years into it, watch out. And then year 5 is superhuman, right? It's like year 5 is Grant. Year 5 is Shane Till. Year 5 is that physique that you don't even think you have inside of you that is just going to be carved and chiseled, and people are going to be like, bro, like, that is crazy.
And the funny thing is, though, is that, you know, people sign up for a year, you know, and they don't work with us for the 5. They're going to be doing this shit for the next 4 years after anyway. But just to the less extent and more inefficient. So it's like, you may as well just keep doing it and get the result. Because it's like, you're going to be lifting weights and doing this shit forever. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. So it's like, why not take the best path anyway? It's like getting a really good business mentor, having a really good first year, being like, yeah, I think I'm good now.
Yeah.
And it's like, or you could just keep working with them and 10x, you know, every year for the next 4 years. But people, they jump too early and think that they know what they need to know. And it's like that, is it Dunning-Kruger, the kind of
The graph.
the graph where it's like everyone at the end of year 1, it's that position where they think they've got it sussed and they know fuck all. And it's like when you get to year 5, it's like you think you don't know anything and you're actually an expert.
Right.
But it's like everyone in that kind of like 1 to 2 year span, it's like, no, like, yeah, it's real simple. I've got it now. And it's like, you haven't experienced, you know, life hardships, you know, transitioning careers, different vacations, different stresses, different health issues, like all of these things. And like in a 5 year time span, just like from like data, you're probably likely going to experience all of those things in a 5 year time span. Why not learn how to navigate them so then you're set for the rest of your life, rather than doing a small fraction and then shit hits the fan the next year and you'll wish that you still had this guidance to kind of build that skill set.
One thing, like real quick, super important. One thing that like was probably inhibited my progress more than anything, besides back in the day not really understanding how much food played its part, was trying to do two things at once, which is stay lean and get big at the same time. Literally wasted 10 years of my life.
Spinning your wheels.
And so it's like I spun my wheels because I kept trying to like just inch it, where this year for the first time, it's like I did take my body weight up near 250 on purpose, got a little bit out. Grant was walking around at about 205, just like a watermelon.
Yeah.
And so, and held that, and we held that for months. And then when it was time to cut down, it's like, shh. And so in that 5-year period, for people that want this eliteness, there's going to be multiple periods where we're literally transforming your body in the most efficient way. And you got, there's going to be different periods where you're cutting down, and there's different periods where we're going to stack that size on and make you hold it so that when we cut down again, that physique is better than the last time.
Yeah.
Your famous quote, Ben, trying to do them both at the same time.
Right
into
two horses of one ass. Yeah. Yeah. But that's it. Like Grant, like you said, like Grant got down to 160. He didn't just go, and then we did a phase and he got to 185 and then he was done. It's like, no, we went 205, then like 185 and it still looks soft. Then it was like another 205 and he was like, yeah, not as soft this time. And it's like you have those phases. Like it's not just this down and up.
No.
It's this down, up, down, up, down, up, down until you get to that point and it's like, now I'm where I want to be.
Yeah. You accumulate muscle tissue, trim off the fat. Accumulate the muscle tissue, trim off the fat. And it's going through that repeated cycle over time. And that's when, again, over like a 5-year period of doing that, then you're diced, you're jacked, and it's lights out.
Are you guys going to come in number 1 for the top spot next year?
Yeah.
Going for it.
Have to,
Going for it.
Yeah,
It's like,
Grant mugged me right off this.
I know. I talk a lot of shit to Grant too. For those of you that don't know, he's our head of sales. So he came in as a head of sales and smoked our coaches. So no, everyone was phenomenal. He just came in that type of shape that was ridiculous. But I give him.
We said you look around the room, you identify the winner. And
I give him a lot of shit. Like I don't like to give him credit. Like we have that relationship where I talk a lot of shit, and it's like I got to the end, and he's like, "Oh man, like my weight's not really moving." I'm like, "Bro, you're fucking like." You're fucking there, bro.
Every time he said
it's like I couldn't say it.
Like,
I couldn't even like cut him anymore. I was like, bro, you're fucking there.
Yeah. Yeah. So Grant, if you're listening, congratulations.
Grant, you won. Fuck your legs.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So watch this space. The next 10 years are going to be one hell of a ride.
Yeah,
that's right.
But thank you as always for tuning into the Superhuman Show. Please like and subscribe on Spotify and iTunes. If you don't give us a 5-star review, then don't post anything.
We don't. Ben needs some haters. Write some bullshit.
Bring it on.
Write some bullshit, Ben.
Let me lose some more hair. And we'll catch you next time.
If you love this show, please like, share, and leave us a 5-star review so that we can help more people. I'm John Madsen, Superhuman CEO, reminding you to always go get what's yours.